we're now looking at the more northerly of the two iconic sets of towers.
Right, the 4 black boxes, the Mies van der Rohe collection on the corner of Delaware. We're sitting at the corner of Delaware and Inner Lakeshore Drive. And these two to the north are the 910 and 900 Lakeshore Drive Mies. I just mentioned that 900 was my first real estate sale on my very first day of real estate. And Peg Quinn was the listing agent. I was so very, very green. Closed in 10 days, cash. I fell in love with the business on the spot. Thought they were all going to be that easy. I think I made $15,000 my first year in real estate. Wasn't so easy.
That's more than most real estate agents make in their first year.
They have a wonderful outdoor pool and sun deck on this side of the Mies. And this is the condominium collection of the 2 towers. And behind us,
we're standing in the shelter of 868-80.
Right. Mies van der Rohe was considered by many to be the father of modern architecture, with no load-bearing walls on the interior. Huge, huge favorite. I think the ratio of architects is probably the highest in the city in these 4 buildings. And
the 2-story lobbies are a hallmark of many of his buildings.
And there's one in particular in this building that's been featured in both the French and German Architectural Digest, and it's only $1,975,000. Seems rather inexpensive compared to the co-ops of East Lakeshore Drive.
But this doesn't have East Lakeshore Drive views.
No, it doesn't, or the east in front of Lakeshore Drive.
Or cachet, or high ceilings.
No, it's a lower, it's the normal 8-foot ceilings, very modern, very clean lines.
And here's a common sight in front of the Mies buildings, Francesca, a docent.
Architectural tour, docent giving an architectural tour. They have walking tours, they have trolley tours, they have river architectural tours, and they also have Segway tours. I just bought 2 tickets on Segway. I wanted to invite you to do a Segway tour with me.
This building, like many, has restrictions on your window coverings.
Yes, they do. They must be uniform, which is important for an all-glass building so that you don't have a crazy quilt of pomegranate and apple green and other colors. Although here in the sun, it looks like there's a line of blue up there, maybe a rebel.
This would lend itself perfectly to unit owners colluding and spelling out political statements.
Yes,
also.
Right. Go Hawks, maybe.
Go Hawks.
Yesterday. It's also interesting in this building is that electricity is included in the assessment. So this was on one central system.
More typically priced units, where would they be at?
Well, there's one that's 3 units which have been combined, as I mentioned, without the load-bearing walls. You can do that. It's 5,000 square feet. It's $1,875,000. That seems to be a very common number along Lakeshore Drive, and that does not include parking. Parking's priced at $60,000 a piece. 2 spaces are available, and the assessments are just over $4,000 a month. But again, I meant that's including electric and your taxes. And of course, the Barcelona chairs in the lobby.
From the Bauhaus School.
Bauhaus School of Architecture.
Now, I'll challenge you on trivia. Do you know what kind of a building Mies lived in when he lived in Chicago?
Did he live in the Vintage Co-op?
He lived in, right.
On Lakeview? Is that?
He also lived in the Gold Coast in a
right.
ornate vintage building at one point.
And his protege, Helmut Jahn, who studied under Mies, also lives in a vintage co-op building in Lincoln Park.